Hello Internet, let's open up the Arduino IDE. An IDE is an integrated development environment, which pretty much means that this is all the software we will need to interface with an Arduino board. When you open up a new file, you'll see that there's two main functions, the void setup function and the void loop function. We will discuss the basics of programming in Arduino C in the next video. Please click the link in the description to watch that. Let's quickly cover the button and the top bar. The check mark compiles our code. This pretty much means that this checks to see if our code has any syntax errors and then translates our written code into machine code that we can upload to the Arduino board. The error button next to it compiles the code if it isn't already compiled and then uploads it to the board. So I usually just skip the clicking on the check button and only click on the arrow button when uploading to the board since it does both. The other three buttons are creating a new file, opening an existing file, and saving your current file, which are all pretty self-explanatory, so we'll just skip over those. In the top bar we have File, Edit, Sketch, Tools, and Help. File has the standard features that most programs have, like New, Open, Open Recent, Save, Print, and etc. The main feature here is the Example tab. By default, Arduino comes with a bunch of really useful examples to help you get started with programming. In the next video, we will use this to create our first Arduino project. Please click on the link in the description below to watch that. The Edit tab contains basic ways to format the code that we have written out. A lot of items here are standard to other programs, so we don't really need to worry about this, and we'll just skip over this. The Sketch tab has the same compile and upload functions that are already implemented in the buttons, so we don't need to cover that again, and we don't really ever use these, so we'll skip these for now. The include library is the main feature that we want to focus on in this tab. Clicking on the manage libraries allows us to download already made Arduino libraries. So say we wanted to download the fast LED library to control our RGB LEDs, we can go here, type in fast LED, and then download and install the fast LED library to use on our Arduino IDE. And then also clicking on a library in the section, paste the include statements for that library into our code. Tools is a primary tab that you'll be using. These two aren't of much importance, so we'll skip these. Manage libraries is repeated here, which we already covered in the previous section. And then we have serial monitor and serial plotter. These are both incredibly useful for sending and receiving data. Monitor allows you to send and receive bytes of information in whichever format you describe in your code. We'll cover this in a future video. Plotter graphs a line plot in real time for a visual representation of our data, so you can in real time see what's happening to your sensors. Board and port are also incredibly useful. There are many different types of Arduino boards, and they all require different compilers, so the board section allows us to choose a specific board that we are using, and in most cases it'll be the Arduino Uno. When the Arduino is plugged into the computer assigns it a communication port to write and read on. The port section is where we define which port we're using. In the newer versions of the Arduino IDE, the correct port has the word Arduino in parentheses, so we know exactly which COM port to choose. On Windows, it will look like this, and on Mac, it will look like this. And then finally, Help just contains a list of links to help you get started with the Arduino IDE. They all link to various pages on the Arduino website. I highly recommend reading all the guides and tutorials they provide. There's a lot of useful information on there. So this was an in-depth look of the primary features of the Arduino IDE. In the next video, we'll be creating our first Arduino project to light up an LED. I'll be explaining everything from the ground up, so no programming experience is required. If this video is helpful, please click the like button so the YouTube gods know that this is a quality video. And if you want to be notified of my next video, please click subscribe and hit the bell icon. Thank you and happy hardwaring.